I'm in a tough spot and need advice. My boyfriend, 35M, questioned whether I, 29F, am only with him for his wealth after my narcissistic sister made a comment at a family gathering, claiming I always dreamed of marrying rich. Now he's doubting my sincerity despite my explanations. We've been together for nearly 6 months after knowing each other for about a year and a half. I'm a teacher earning around $50,000 annually, while he's a lawyer with a fluctuating 6-figure income, depending on his clients. We recently attended a family event at my parents' home, both in their 60s. My older brother 35M and parents had already met my boyfriend, but this time, extended family and my sister's family were invited too. I'm low contact with my sister, 32F, due to her past behavior, and I'd be no contact if not for my parents' desire to maintain ties with her. I was unaware she'd been invited until I arrived. When I confronted my mom, she explained she invited my sister to offer her support. Furious but willing to give it a chance, I decided to stay unless my sister caused trouble. She seemed fine, and I barely interacted with her. My boyfriend left the party early, citing exhaustion, and I thought everything was fine. But then, he went silent for a week, no texts, which was unusual since we usually chat daily about our lives or plan dates. Out of the blue, he asked to meet at a park to discuss something serious. When I arrived, he didn't greet me with his usual warmth and instead asked if I was with him for his money. Shocked, I denied it, but he pressed, asking if I'd ever said marrying rich would solve my problems. I admitted I've made that kind of joke before, but in a flippant, unrealistic way, like saying I'd move to a remote island and become a farmer. When I asked where this was coming from, he revealed my sister told him I'd always wanted to marry wealthy, framing it as if I'd achieved my goal with him. I was livid. My sister, who tormented me for years, had twisted a casual comment I made as a struggling teen with health issues into something malicious. I explained to my boyfriend that her words were a distortion, and that she's an unreliable narcissist who's bullied me for years without accountability. He kept questioning why she'd say it so casually if it wasn't true. Frustrated and hurt, I told him that if he'd trust a stranger over me, my friends, and my family, who'd all vouch for my character, then our relationship wasn't viable. I left barely holding back tears until I reached my car where I broke down. I'm devastated. I love my boyfriend deeply. He's the first person I've felt truly safe being myself with. His communication style has been a balm after my toxic family dynamics. My biggest fear in relationships has been that someone I trust would doubt my authenticity, and this situation has brought that fear to life. It's been days and neither of us has reached out. I needed space and he hasn't texted either. Am I overreacting? I feel he should have trusted me over a near stranger, especially my sister. What's the next step? Edit. Thanks for the feedback. A comment about relationships requiring mutual effort hit home, and another about me effectively ending things by walking away made me rethink my approach. I didn't handle this well. I'm planning to text my boyfriend to arrange a proper conversation to work through this. I'm unsure where we'll land, but we can't decide anything without talking. Comments where I responded. Commenter 1, there's got to be more to this. If you pay for your own expenses, there's no reason he'd think you're after his money. Does he cover your bills? Do you ask for cash? Does he spend lavishly on you? Maybe he's been used before or he's paranoid. A comment like your sister's would unsettle anyone well off, but if you've given no cause for suspicion, it shouldn't be an issue. My response, he doesn't pay my bills and I never ask for money. I was raised in a frugal household, so requesting funds feels uncomfortable, even when justified. He is generous, though, like bringing flowers to every date since I mentioned no one had done that for me before. When my car was making odd noises and I planned to delay repairs to save up, he insisted on taking it to the shop that day, saying my safety mattered more than the cost. Commenter 2. His communication isn't that great if he believed a stranger, your narcissistic sister, over you. Did he know about her beforehand? Haven't you shared your dynamic with her? My response, sort of. Early in our relationship, we discussed family. He's no contact with his own for personal reasons, and I mentioned being low contact with my sister due to her bullying and self-centeredness. I didn't share everything since it was early days, and I figured heavier details could wait. She lives in another city, and I hadn't seen her since we started dating, so it slipped my mind. I know I should have been more open, but it's hard to revisit that pain. Update: a lot has happened and I want to share an update. Hopefully it's not too lengthy. Some comments helped me see that storming off wasn't the best move. On Friday, I texted my boyfriend, "Hey, I'm sorry for how I left things. I was hurt and overwhelmed, but that didn't help. Can we meet this weekend to talk and see if we can align on where we stand?" He replied quickly, agreeing to meet at my place on Sunday. I was nervous. Some suggested breaking up, others thought he might be hiding something. I wanted clarity. When I opened the door, he stood there with flowers, looking unusually somber and worried, a side of him I'd never seen. He apologized immediately, saying he'd messed up and was about to reach out when I texted. I thanked him, apologized for my reaction, and asked him to walk me through what happened. His explanation was eye-opening. For context, my boyfriend wasn't always the person he is now. He used to be a workaholic who casually dated many women, inspired by his lawyer father, whom he idolized. He planned to settle down faithfully once married, like his dad. But his world crumbled when he learned his mother had been cheating on his father for years, and his father, upon being told, admitted to his own affairs. They stayed married to preserve their image. This shattered my boyfriend's view of his father, leading to depression, heavy drinking, and bar hopping. That's where he met our mutual friend, Matt, fake name, a bartender who took an interest in him. Matt helped him overhaul his life, cutting back on drinking, reducing his grueling work hours, and treating women with respect. Matt later moved to my city, where we met at Matt's wedding to my friend Becca. After our park argument, my boyfriend reflected on my words about trusting my loved one's opinions of me. He went to Matt, who, after listening, challenged him. "Do you really think she'd live in a modest apartment if she was after your money? Has she ever given you reason to doubt her?" My boyfriend admitted I've never shown materialistic tendencies. He realized my sister's words triggered old insecurities. Apparently, many women he dated changed their demeanor upon learning he was a lawyer, which turned him off. His last serious relationship, his first after his lifestyle change, ended when his partner cheated despite his lavish spending on her. This left him wary of people's intentions. Matt suggested he talk to my friends and family for perspective. Over the past week, he did just that, even visiting my parents. My mom was distraught, feeling responsible for inviting my sister and causing our rift. She's always wanted her kids happily married, and with my sister's string of failed relationships and my single history, she was upset her actions hurt us. My boyfriend asked her to give me space until he could apologize. My friends and family all vouched for my integrity, confirming I'm not after wealth. Hearing this, I was in tears. He kept apologizing, promising to rebuild my trust, but stressed that if my sister might reappear, he needed the full picture to avoid future misunderstandings. So I opened up. Not about every detail, as it's too painful and I'm cautious about sharing online, but I shared enough. My sister has untreated mental health issues, resists therapy or medication, and has a history of abusive behavior and love bombing in relationships without accountability. That's why I keep my distance. We both agreed to pursue individual therapy, him for his lingering insecurities from his parents and past relationships, me for the trauma my sister caused, which I've never fully processed. I'll have insurance through work in September to start therapy. We also committed to weekly check-ins, not always dates, but dedicated time to share openly, including therapy insights. We laughed about our shared habit of shutting down when emotions run high. We vowed to communicate concerns promptly and ask questions until we understand each other. We spent the evening cooking dinner at my place and talking more. I'm optimistic about our future, a feeling I haven't had in a while. Writing this felt cathartic, sorry for the length. Next story. A friend arranged a blind date, but when I showed up, it was with a woman who'd asked me out 3 times, and I'd rejected her each time. I turned and left without a word, and now everyone's calling me a jerk. To clarify, this isn't about the date itself, relationships, or seeking judgment on my actions. It's just the story. Cast. Me 25M, Joe 26M, Jane 24F. I met Jane through Joe's girlfriend at her birthday party last year. She seemed nice at first, but quickly became overly forward, hitting on me aggressively, which ruined the night since I wasn't interested and was already in a relationship. Jane joined our broader friend group through Joe's girlfriend, so I see her about twice a month. She asked me out a month after the party. I declined, citing my relationship. She tried again 2 months later after my breakup, and I said no. After another breakup 2 months ago, she asked again, and I rejected her firmly. This week, Joe pushed me to go on a double date with a friend of his girlfriend, refusing to name her despite knowing I've rejected Jane repeatedly. Reluctantly, I agreed to meet at Joe's place. When I arrived, Jane was there, clearly intended as my date. Furious, I left without speaking. Now I'm getting texts and calls calling me rude for hurting Jane. I'm frustrated. Everyone, including Joe and his girlfriend, knows I'm not interested in her. Our friend group even jokes about her persistence. Update. It's been almost 2 months and many asked for an update. I waited until I had significant developments. Jane's behavior escalated. A week after my post, she messaged me from an account, ranting about why I'd shown interest. I hadn't, beyond basic politeness, and insulted my exes, claiming we were meant to be. Shockingly, she sent this from an alias account she'd used to befriend me online, gaming and chatting with me for months to monitor me. Alarmed, I screenshot everything, blocked her accounts, and shared the messages in our friend group's Discord and WhatsApp. She was removed from both. Joe called, apologizing profusely, admitting his girlfriend caved to Jane's months-long pressure to set us up. I told him I needed space as his actions broke my trust. Jane contacted me twice more, once with a half apology that turned creepy, insisting we're a couple, and once to insult me, both from random accounts. I'm shaken and unsure what to do next.